Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm going to be making a jumper. I just saw my phone and I need to show you in my phone where I got the inspiration for this project from. Okay, the lady's name is, she's on Instagram. Her name on Instagram is A. Wilkie, and I also now started following her on YouTube. So I saw this outfit that she had on and I decided I'm going to use this blanket, a Goodwill thrifted blanket, to make my version of this. So let me see, where is it? Here it is. And it's going to be up on the screen, but this is what it looks like, the dress. And this is her, A. Wilkie. I think I'm pronouncing it, her name right, her Instagram name. I have a couple of shots of the dress because I needed to see the back of it. So this is what it looks like in the back. And from what I can tell, these are all one like long strips that are sewn together. I'm going to do mine slightly differently. I'm not going to do the pieces that connect from top to bottom. I'm just going to do a top part, and then I'm going to have a skirt that billows out. And you see the structure of this, the bottom half of it, like the skirt part of it is structured and very stiff looking in that it looks like it holds its shape. So what I have is, I purchased this heavyweight interfacing, and I'm going to iron this interfacing on. It's fusible, iron fusible interfacing. I'm going to iron it to the part of the blanket that I'm using as the skirt portion, and that's going to give it some stiffness. And I'm also going to line it with a sheet. So it's going to have 2 layers with interfacing in between. And that's going to give it the structure it needs, and it's also going to provide a lining so that this blanket material is not directly on my skin, and neither is the interfacing. So this will be here, then this will be on top. Okay, and I'm going to use my mannequin right here to drape the top part, and then for the bottom half, all I'm going to do is take whatever's left of the blanket and cut a long strip of it, gather it as much as it can be gathered into the waist, and attach it to the top part. So again, I'm going to drape for the top part, wrap for the bottom part, combine the pieces together, and hopefully have something that looks somewhat like this. And it has a zipper down the front, so it looks like the zipper goes all the way up, but she has the zipper down. But I'm going to make it go all the way to the top just like this, and then I'll see the positioning where it needs to go once I have it on. And if you are interested in how all of this is going to come together, then I hope you keep watching. I'm going to get started draping the mannequin using this sheet. I have a few sheets, so this might not be the actual lining of the dress. I'm going to start using this to drape the mannequin, and then whatever is left I will use for the lining. But I might use a dark blue or something darker as the lining. I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see as it goes along. what I did was trace the pattern pieces onto this lining. This is a blue sheet. It actually is working much better than the lighter sheet. So I have the dart drawn in, as you can see there, and I have all the lining pieces cut. I'm just using those to cut out the blanket pieces as well. Here I'm setting up the dart, and I'm copying the dart lines from the lining onto the blanket material just using pins. And I'm just splitting this in half because these will be the two front bodice pieces that will be connected by a zipper. And here's the back bodice piece that I just traced out. And I'm going to sew all the lining pieces together and all the blanket pieces together. Okay, I have the lining pieces connected. I stitched the shoulders together, and then I had to go back and unpick them because I have to make this do that flip over thing, and I can't do that if the shoulders are connected. So of course I went and connected the shoulders on this too, a blanket, and then I had to unpick it after I serged it and everything. Oh my goodness, very tedious process, but I got it. And now I have the pieces separated. Here is the front, this is the back, and the two sides in the front. So what I'm going to do is put these two pieces right sides together so that I can flip the lining to the inside, and then I'll attach the shoulders. And then we'll work on the skirt part. This is definitely an experiment because I'm not exactly sure what's the best process to make this flip the right way. I'm hoping this works out correctly because I need the armholes to be sealed in, and I need the neckline to also be sealed in all over. So let's try it. This time I will not serge anything until it is completely final. Okay. So I'm not gonna see, all these loose threads are out here now because I took everything apart. But I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna stitch together here, which is the front neckline on both sides, the front neckline. I'm also going to stitch together the armhole of both and the neckline, the back neckline. Will that work? And then flip it over. Will that work? I'm going to try it and see. This will reveal if that was done correctly. So all those seams are in. I'm gonna flip this right side out now. So far the front looks good. Let's get this back section flipped. Okay, yeah. I think it's good. And then this side. Okay, there's the front neckline on one side. Here's the other one. Here's the back neckline connected, and then armhole 1 and armhole 2. Everything looks just fine. Okay, now I have to figure out how to connect these. I don't know, I'm not really sure, but this has to be folded inwards like that and connected to this one folded inwards so that the edges are, the ends are tucked inside there but sewed together. I don't know, how do you do that? I will figure it out and come back and let you know the steps I'm gonna take. I figured it out. Okay, I have it clipped over here. I did this a few minutes ago, so now let me see if I can remember what I did. Okay, I'm gonna take this side and put it back inside out. So this is the wrong side out on the, this is the one of the front necklines. I'm gonna take this one right side, the right side out, and I'm gonna insert it into here and make sure it's lined up so that the lining is touching the lining and the blanket part is touching the blanket part. And I'm going to line up the seams, make sure everything looks right, then clip it. I'm just going to clip it right now just so I can make sure it's right. And then I'll sew around this part, and then when I pull it back out, right, is everything going to stay in? Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, it should stay in. So I'll just, yeah, once this gets pulled through, everything should be encased on the inside. I'm gonna test it out and see what it looks like, and I'll come back and show you once these are all set, assuming it's gonna work. And then once these seams are sealed in, the shoulders, I'm gonna flip it so that the wrong side is facing out, and I'm going to serge all the inside seams because this blanket material is definitely gonna fray. And then I'm gonna fold it right side out and iron everything flat and smooth all the edges. And then I'm gonna do a top stitch going around the entire thing. Here, it's stitched on now. Let's test it out. Yes, it worked. Everything is in. Looks good. All right, I'm gonna do everything I just said and then we'll proceed. I'm going to serge all the inside seams because this blanket material is definitely gonna fray. And then I'm gonna fold it right side out and iron everything flat and smooth all the edges. And then I'm gonna do a top stitch going around the entire thing. Here's the skirt part. I'm gonna show you what I did. So this is just the bottom half of the blanket. It extends out this far. I'm gonna gather it in or pinch it in or pleat it in for the majority of the parts. I'm gonna leave the edges about an inch because this is where it's gonna attach to the zipper in the front, and I don't want any pleating right here on either side. So these two sides will be flattened down and added to the top part that's already set and ready to go. And I'll just show you, I did iron on that heavy weight interfacing. That's inside the blanket section. And then I just did what I consider right sides together for the lining and the blanket. And then I just did a straight stitch down on this side, all the way down. Show you what that looks like. And I just, like I said, just did a straight stitch all the way down, and then I flipped it. So now the lining is covering the interfacing, and all we have is the blanket and the lining. I don't know the length that I really want for this because this is very long. I don't think I've want it this long, so I'm gonna fold it in. See how this has like a band kind of going across? I'm gonna fold it in, I think about here where this blue line, the light blue line is. And I'm gonna let that light blue line be kind of like the seam allowance, and I'm gonna sew it along right on between the cream and the light blue. I think that's what I'm gonna do, just to take off a little bit of the length. It's not meant to be exactly like the inspiration. The inspiration is just inspiration. But if I fold this in, I think that will also give it a little bit of billowing around the sides, and I kind of want it to be out a little bit. Anyway, I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I'm gonna line it up now, and you'll see how everything's gonna attach. And I'm not gonna put any gathering stitches or anything, because this is way too much material to do that. I'm gonna pin the ends, and then I'll just gather it and pin it as I go across until it matches up with that top piece. And then I'll sew it straight on, add the zipper, and then that's gonna be it. I'm gonna sew this. I have all the pleats already in, they're clipped right here, but because this is I'm scared this might not even go through my machine. But I'm gonna top stitch this down first to hold the pleats in place, and then I'm gonna top stitch it to this. I'm gonna top stitch and then top stitch again. You can do it, you can do it. Come on now, you can do it. Yay! It did it. Now it's gonna have to go through that and another layer. Let's do it though. Ooh. That cracking sound. That was a workout for me and the machine. Hopefully I don't have to fix anything, because that was serious. A serious endeavor. Okay, so I'm gonna put the zipper in, and I'm also gonna, I think I'm gonna do another little modification, but we'll see. I want to shorten the dress by taking out this space, and what I'm going to do is just bring this top part up to meet the other line so that it looks like this band is doubled, and then it just covers that line like that. And I'm going to sew it all the way around so that this part is shorter, and then I'll close up the seam, and then I think I'll be all done. But if I don't like it, obviously I'm going to take it out. But this is what I'm thinking to try now, and I think that might give it a little bit more expanse at the bottom, kind of like to poof it out a little bit more. So I'm going to try that and see what it looks like. Okay, here's what that looks like. I hand sewed it just because it was a little more precise. This is the line. A little more precise doing it by hand than by the machine. And this worked out good at keeping it poofed out, kind of like the inspiration. So this is what it looks like. And of course this line can be unstitched if I ever want to drop it down. And the other thing is, I'm going to show you what it looks like as is, but I'm probably gonna wear this with a belt because I wasn't able to cinch the waist as closely as I wanted to. And for the fit that I'm looking for, I probably will need to wear a belt. So I'll show you with and without, and that is all. It's nicely lined. I did stitch this down with a very thick type of thread. It doesn't look the greatest inside, but it's good enough for me just to keep this flat on both sides. And there's the lining on the inside, nice and smooth. And I'm gonna be wearing this soon, so I'm hoping that it wears nicely. Of course, being a blanket, who knows, but it's a little test, you never know, might be nice. Oh, and then of course I didn't have to hem anything, so this is the bottom. I'm gonna just cut that little string and it's all done. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.